Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I'm Doug, along with Brad,
Hey, everybody.
and this week we'll be talking about Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the beta, closed beta.
Closed beta.
It's not a closed beta. We're gonna put closed. You needed a code, but they're giving out codes like candy. So
Yeah, you had to sign up for I feel like I signed up for a code in November and it was just like, put in your email here if you want to try and play this game before it comes out. And I went, yep.
I think I begged somebody on NeoGaf. No, they actually have like a NeoGaf has every time a beta comes out, they have like a thread where it's like, hey, give me a code, and somebody will give you a code. So we both actually got a chance to play Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And I guess I'll start. My first impression is that I liked it. I did like it, but I did not like the open world aspects of it. I
Excellent. We are in agreement.
I I can understand why they made this game open world because it does make sense for Mirror's Edge to go open world. I will not disagree with that because I think it is pretty cool. A lot of it is like trying to find those sort of like hidden paths to make a race time much quicker. But man, it felt I don't know, man. You gotta save me on this one because I don't know. I got like a lot of like weird kind of opinions kind of floating in my head trying to figure out how to like congeal them into a solid. Did I like this or didn't I like this?
Yeah, I didn't like it. Um, I will say, I think we should preface this with we both loved the first Mirror's
Oh
Edge. I
yeah, oh yeah, I forgot.
love
Yeah, that's a
Mirror's
good way to
Edge.
start
Yeah,
this.
love
Yeah,
Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge, great game. Loved it. Fantastic. Which I have to say, there's a couple of pieces in this that make me go, damn, I wish I liked this.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it still has that Mirror's Edge feel that I really like. Specifically, there's one I was like the Kruger Corporation or KSEC or something where you have to go through the building.
That was effing amazing, and that's actually what I will. Yeah, I was going to talk about it later when we talk about that part. Was effing incredible.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, and it feels like the first Mirror's Edge. It's this just running through this, trying to get to the end, which is perfect. But the thing that just I will not I don't have the patience for this game, and
Yeah.
I played this in like 4 half-hour chunks because I just got bored because it's
Hmm.
every time you have to go run to somewhere else, go run. It felt like. And because this game is just basically run to the end of something, putting and now run to the next thing that you have to run through to run to the next thing that you have to run
Yeah.
through, it got old. And the open world concept, again, like you said, makes sense for this game, and it's story wise and universe wise it's a perfect fit. I understand you can do some things with it, but you're basically taking the one thing your game does and just overselling it so hard. Is like you can run anywhere and you can do anything. And as I was playing this, the beta, I think I put maybe 2 hours in. I feel like that's about how long if you went through the mission structure. It
Yeah, I
was
put two or
right
three
around
in. I think
there.
you finished it though. You got to the part where it said thank you
Yeah.
for
Oh yeah.
trying the
Yeah.
beta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're done. Yeah. And it just, I don't know. I kept getting bored because it's just, it's just running, and there's nothing else to it. There's some combat elements in there, and the combat I thought was well done and was much more improved from Mirror's Edge one
Oh
because that
yeah,
always
yeah. I
just
think a lot of people are going to crap on the combat, but I thought it was not bad. I thought it was pretty cool. I like that sort of quick action combat where you could just keep running if you needed to, or
yeah,
you could.
and
They
some
actually had a
and some
special
of
button for that.
yeah, and some of the directional combat of like knocking people into things off ledges and stuff, it felt like it fit in with what Mirror's Edge wanted. And yes, it does not respond well and it's not great. But if you compare to where they were last time Mirror's Edge existed, like
Yeah.
5, 6 years ago, this is leaps and bounds ahead of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but just I don't know, the open world. It's a fit for the universe, but you got to do something with it. And maybe this comes later in the game. There's a fast travel element or there's something else, but it's just the time it took me to go from like here's Noah's office, now go talk to Birdman, and I just had to run to him, and then I did
Yeah.
my running mission for him, and now okay, now go run back to Birdman, and then go run back to Noah, and then go run to the
Yeah.
just
It
got
felt.
old.
I'm sorry. It felt like I was like what you're saying. It felt like I was like constantly retracing my steps. Like I felt like I was like
Yes.
already doing the thing I'd just done like a few times, and then I realized like. But then when you actually got to the level, like the Kruger one's a great example, and I think the opening is also pretty. I think the opening also sort of has like an interior area. Like the specifically non-open world levels are incredible. But yeah, just getting to and from them because I actually had the exact same thought. I was like, man, I wish there's a fast travel. It's like I should not be thinking that in a Mirror's Edge game.
Well, and especially not an hour into a game. Like if I'm
Yeah.
playing Fallout or I'm playing Elder Scrolls, the first hour in, I'm not going, dear God, can I just fast travel to the next castle? I'm looking around going, ooh, this is pretty. Ooh, what's over there? I wonder what I can do over here. Where's this? because it's such a clean city and because it's
Yeah.
such a, futuristic, like everything's in its place, there's no uniqueness to it, which I think, again, universe wise and story wise fits because it's supposed to be this kind of, dystopian future where the corporations have everything in line and everything. And the style fits. But when you put that in an open world game, it eliminates the interesting factor of exploration. I felt like I had no reason to go explore because it was just going to be another white building.
Yeah, no, no, exactly. And I felt that the time trials kind of alleviated that. Like I liked when I got to like a time trial area. It's like, okay, now you can run this race and get to this part in 40 seconds. Like that part was fun, but really it is that in between of like when you're not running a time trial and you're just getting from point A to point B. But and that's kind of what made me think it's like it would make more sense if this game was like linear. Like I know a lot of people don't like linear games now, but this game would make more sense if it was linear. Like sure you can do some like if you could fast travel between the main story mission parts and then like explore the city and do time trials in the cities if you want. But
Yes.
really that just that back and forth because I think Noah's building basically only has like two entrance points. So you're either coming from the like the west side or like the north side or the south side, and like that's it. Like you've been through, you walk. I in the 3 hours I played the game, like I ran back and forth like 5 or 6 times. Like I know how to
Yep.
get through this area, and it's like it's kind of fun. Like maybe the second or third time, like I'm like, oh okay, now I can like really bust through this area if I need to. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So okay, so talking about so that's kind of the bad, but talking about the good. So how'd you like that Kruger area? Because I thought that Kruger area was cool. It was
It
just
was
slick.
Yeah, it was so well done, and just everything was positioned so perfectly. And a couple parts almost felt like a puzzle game, which I did like about this
Mhm.
is the first Mirror's Edge, everything was orange all the time.
Yeah.
And you always knew I just go to the orange. Whereas this, it had that runner's vision thing that kind of turned off and on. And I don't know if could you manually turn it off and on? I couldn't really tell.
You could actually if you wanted to, which is nice because if people who are kind of like I don't want to see any red things, then you can actually I think you can actually turn it off completely.
That was kind of cool because there was one part where you had to go up to, I think it was like room 4H or something,
Yeah,
and you're on the
no, I
bottom
know
floor.
exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
And it felt like a puzzle game, which is really cool concept with that because the first Mirror's Edge was so much just run through as fast as you can. Now you've got that run through as fast as you can. You got the time trials, but now we're gonna throw in this aspect where it's what can you climb, what can't you climb, can you figure out your way to get from point A to point B, which is a really cool gameplay element. And I
Mhm.
really thought that area just blew me away. And then the alarm goes off, and just the running combat works so well with this. And again, it's not great combat, but it fits what this game is because it's not the central part. It's supposed to be something that you're trying to just get through.
Yeah, I actually I was a little hesitant on the running combat because when you do like the initial tutorial, you're like, okay, this system's kind of weird. And then
Yeah,
there's a
very.
there's a few missions where you're kind of actually forced to fight. Want some of
Yep.
the side missions, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this. But that Kruger escape. So I guess the concept is like you were saying, you kind of quietly sneak up to the top, an alarm goes off, and you're running through, and there's guys with guns and stuff. But like when you're running through those guys, it is so effing satisfying to like
Oh yeah,
vault off a ledge and then like drop kick on a guy and then keep busting out.
yeah,
Man, that was so much fun. It actually looks real. It's really weird. Like I'm not sure how the art style is decided on, but like the interior of that thing looked gorgeous compared to the outside. The outside like looks pretty cool, but like the interior area just looked. It was just fantastic. It just looked absolutely gorgeous. It looked like you were sitting in like an Apple store set 20 years in the future with $1 billion behind it or something like that.
yeah, yep. If every office building turned into an Apple store.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a really interesting kind of looking thing, um, that was just super exciting. And then as soon as you got back outside, you're like, oh no, okay, now I'm back outside. Okay, and it's just like, and then it kind of just does
There's
that
like a
drop of like, all right. Um, so I guess one of the other big things is the online aspects. I don't know if you played around with that a little bit, but there's like people who set up their own time trial things. I didn't even touch them. I was like, just trying to get to the other mission.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how often you pull up that world map, but that world map has like ridiculous amounts of crap on it,
Yeah.
and it's just like there's so much. And again, that's my thing with this game. It's Mirror's Edge. I feel like the first game was about an 8 hour game, right? Maybe
Yeah, something like
10,
that. Yeah, 8-10.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe 8 to 10 somewhere in there, which is
Average length. Yeah.
yeah, not short, not long, but it was. And this is my thing with games is there's a length for every game,
Yeah.
and every game has a length that it will be good for, and it has a
Yeah.
length that it will be that I will want a lot more, and it will have a length that it will be that I will really wish it would have stopped 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge found that perfect in that 8 to 10 hour window because it's it's not a complex game.
No. No.
It's a run and figure out what you can do. It's basically like 3D first person Trials.
That's
You
a
know what
good.
I
That's
mean?
a great way to put it. Actually, yeah, yeah. No, I don't disagree.
And I don't think I can say I don't want an open world trials game where I have to drive my bike to the next challenge course. You know what I mean? I want to just be able to go, okay, you put your story out. Noah calls me. He says, okay, you got to go steal this from this corporation, get to the top of the building, go, run out. Or, okay, you ran out of the building. Oh man, there's a helicopter coming. Now run back. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's how this game I feel like was initially conceived, and I feel like they took it on. We need bigger aspirations than just that if we're gonna do a
Yeah,
sequel.
yeah, and it does feel like that. It's like feels like that 20 hour of content, like
Yeah,
content in the fact that content is bloat. It feels kind of like bloat. Like it's too much. It's even like looking at the world map. Like just visually, it was like bleached out. I couldn't even tell what I was really looking at when I was
yeah,
looking at the world map. But just seeing like a million little like things to check off, I'm like, "Ah, man, I like literally was like moving around the map, highlighting things just to figure out where my next mission was because I didn't
yep,
really care about those other ones. And like, I don't have to say that the time trials and stuff weren't fun. I don't know. It just didn't feel necessary. It just felt like these main missions are so well done that anything else just seems like you're wasting time to the part of the game that's actually really good. So it feels like it feels like really good gameplay with kind of these humdrum kind of middle sections. So
yeah.
I don't know. How'd you feel about
Yeah.
story aspect and characters?
Uh, I don't think there was really enough to really get me too involved with any. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea because it's clearly set a while after it, kind of coming back into this. There's some character growth out of some of the characters because like Noah was in the first, was the main guy in the first game that you kind of communicated with,
I
wasn't he?
have no idea. This is a prequel, so I have like I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's
there's how I feel about the story.
to be fair, if you don't, even if you played like 100 hours of Mirror's Edge and you couldn't repeat the story, that would be completely acceptable because
Oh yeah,
I don't remember anything about the story except like, oh, this is the person that's probably going to betray you, and then they betray you, and that's the whole story. That's all I remember.
yep, yep. And you have to go steal things from the evil corporations.
Yeah, and I think I do kind of like that. I do kind of like that evil corporation aspect thing, but I don't know, sort of some of the minor characters like Icarus especially kind of seem like a douche. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like there's always that like, oh, this is your douchey rival, like which is clearly how that was set up. Like,
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
I mean, so clearly, like I felt like he's okay. Somewhere down the line, he's gonna do something shitty, and then he's gonna redeem himself, and you're gonna be best friends at the end of the game. Like that was kind of my feeling with him.
Hmm. No, I can see that. Yeah, that's true. I actually did like the cutscenes. I thought the cutscenes were actually really cool. Like
Yeah.
I just remember in at least in Mirror's Edge one, like when a cutscene came up, like I actually like tried to click through them because like you just like the cutscenes in Mirror's Edge one are just legit bad. There's no real cutting it one way or the other. So when these cutscenes, I was actually like kind of engaged. Like, oh wow, these are kind of cool. These character models look kind of neat. The animation's like really high quality. It's kind of like I wasn't expecting to be as high quality as it was. Um,
Well, it's interesting as we're talking about this comparing to this to the first one, where the first one was like this game had great gameplay, and the gameplay was so good we didn't care about the rest.
yeah.
And this one, it's like it has great gameplay, and they put in a whole lot more. It was like that stuff that we didn't care about, that we didn't really have any connection to in the first one. They went, well, let's focus on that this time.
I kind of get what you're saying. I think it's okay though they like kind of like embellished on the story and stuff like that. That's okay, but adding all that extra stuff and it's just I don't know. But I'll be devastated. This game comes out to like reviews like 6 and 7s because I don't think this game deserves those sort of reviews because there's
No.
clearly you can see there's a lot of heart in this game. Like when the game really shines, it really shines. And when you kind of like going through the side mission stuff, you're like, okay, I kind of get what you're looking at other open world games. This is what open world games have. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see what the full version is. Are you interested at all in the full version, or are you just like nope, never gonna buy it?
So initially, yes, very. When this was announced, I was on board for sure.
Yeah.
And then, kind of as it came closer, it's kind of one of those things that got put in the back of my mind. Like Uncharted's coming out in a week and a half. Uncharted's coming out in 2 months. Uncharted's coming out and this Ratchet and Clank and and all those other games kind of
Yeah.
came out. And as it got closer, I was like, oh yeah, that's coming out in like 3 weeks. And then I was like, yeah, I'd get that. And then playing this, just I I know I will get this and I'll have the same problem. Fallout 4 I bought and turned off after about 5 to 10 hours just because I got so sick of running from point A to point B.
Hmm.
And it has that same feeling that I had with that, where it's like, I don't care about the environment that's going on. The story is something I don't care about too much. Like, and just the thought of me having to go from point A to point B over and over and over again in here just to get to these really cool missions
Yeah,
doesn't feel like it's worth my time, and I think that alone is going to prevent me from buying this game.
that's kind of a bummer. I can absolutely understand what you're saying. I'm hoping I'm honestly gonna wait on reviews on this because I'm hoping that some of those more if those main missions like stay as good as that first one is, and like someone like in a reviewer says like it's like yeah this open world stuff isn't great, but those main missions are really good. Then I'm gonna be really interested in it. But like right now, it kind of left a weird taste in my mouth. It wasn't like a bad taste necessarily. It's just kind of like I don't know how I feel about this game. When like you were saying you were really super excited before you actually played it, and I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think I'm as negative as you are about it though.
Yeah, and again, I'm not negative. The game's great. It's just you're asking me to do things with the game I don't want to.
Yeah.
And that's my issue. It has that feeling of okay, in my mind I'm sitting here looking at my Guitar Hero guitar, and it's like the thing I want to do is I want to play the damn guitar.
Mm-hmm.
In Mirror's Edge, I just want to try and run away from somebody. I don't want to spend my time walking over to that person to run away from. I don't want to walk over to a song to play. I just want to play the damn song.
Okay. Oh, that's a good analogy. Shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need my set breaks and my tour bus. Just give me the damn song, let me play it. I don't need to walk over to the new building. Just cutscene me there.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because you see all these improvements in it, but like you realize like that's something you wouldn't necessarily appreciate in the original Mirror's Edge because playing the original Mirror's Edge, you would say, "Oh, this would make awesome as an open world game." And then when you actually get your hands on it, you're like, "Well, maybe this doesn't really make sense as an open world game."
Yeah, for sure.
So that was kind of our initial impressions of the Mirror's Edge beta. I guess I assume one of us will eventually get the full version, and that really, and when we say eventually, that's probably gonna be a price drop in the future, sort of thing. But if you liked what you heard, you can always follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can
look for it in April of 2017.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly when there's like a PSN flash sale. For maybe we'll play it on PS4 Neo. You never know.
Woo!
So if you like what you heard, you can always subscribe to us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. See you guys next week.
Bye.